Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and a warm hello to you here from the ESL studios in Cologne. We are here, of course, with the WGLEU online playoffs day 2. And, of course, it is Valentine's Day, so hopefully you guys are snuggled up with your significant other, be it another person or a big old pizza. My Valentine here, Ollie Maxfield. Good to be with you on this special day, mate. And how are you feeling? Because yesterday we saw 3 pretty full-on games, actually, maybe some unexpected results there. Knackebrod managed to get through.
Yeah, it was an incredible day. I mean, really, we had some seriously close games. I don't think there was one which was really that one-sided, apart from perhaps that DiNG Knackebrod game. But yeah, as you said, Knackebrod made it all the way through, even after a 3-0 deficit, going on to win 5 rounds in a row against Oops. Incredible stuff. But yeah, just today is just 2 rounds, 2 matches, the losers bracket. But yeah, super hyped. And if it wasn't for you, mate, I'll be alone at home with a pizza. So
it would be good. So not only are we keeping ourselves around people, but also keeping ourselves from gaining more weight. That's a good thing. Melly might have some food for us, though, in the corner, though. I had to check, of course. It looks a little bit bare today, which is a bit of a shame, Melly.
What's going on here?
There's no food.
I'm devastated.
I think people are going to be more upset by your back and Tom's here.
All I have is a protein shake over here, and that's it. I was hoping you had something more sustenance.
No, I have lip balm. It tastes like raspberry, so...
Well, that's always an option.
No, there is no food. There is no food today. I mean, I had plenty of food yesterday.
Yeah.
So, yes, it was awesome. Yeah, I'm back. I'm happy to be back. And actually, I followed the live ticker on Twitter.
Right.
And I was so sad that I missed it. There must be a hell of an action over there. But yes, the VODs aren't up already, so I hadn't had time to check up on yesterday's matches. But of course, next week there will be those said VODs on youtube.com/WGLEU. So you should definitely subscribe to that channel to get a notification as soon as we upload those VODs. And I'm definitely going to rewatch all matches from yesterday.
That was pretty fantastic.
Like, I was reading and I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, I think there was no shortage of good games. I mean, Knackebrod waking up and maybe shaking off the tilt was probably pretty big for me, I thought. Yeah. Getting into action as well. 5 rounds in a row. Oops, looking like they're actually going to be able to topple them there. I was thinking, bloody hell, here we go again. Knackebrod, you know, online playoffs, you just never really know how it's going to go. But the good news is they made it through, and they're always good to have. A season finals are always a bit of fun. But let's have a look at the bracket from yesterday, so you guys can see exactly how it went down, Oliver. We did kick off with DiNG versus Knackebrod.
Yeah, it was a pretty one-sided match, I have to say. I think DiNG had some issues there. We discussed it a bit yesterday, last night. Maybe some connection issues, maybe some, I don't know, internal issues. I think we're going to see a better DiNG today. Oops versus KB, 5-3. That was definitely one of the closer matches. You know, KB came back after quite a deficit at the beginning, but Oops did manage to close the match in the end on Rurenberg. Then we had Knackebrod versus Oops. Oops went 3-0 after 2 rounds on Prokhorovka, 1 round on Muravanka. Then Knackebrod won on Muravanka, 1 on Himmelsdorf, and 1 on Mainz, and managed to win that match, go through. They are going through to the finals to join Torneo Rocks in first, Wombats in second, and Knackebrod takes that 3rd out of 4 slot.
So we have 1 more slot up for grabs, and Oops already in prime position, at least, to be able to fight for that one. Of course, making it to the semi-finals yesterday means that they automatically go down into a second chance match, we'll call it, in their case. So they still have a chance there. They will face the winner of this first match, DiNG versus Knackebrod in this one.
Yeah.
That's an interesting match. I mean, look, both of these two teams have definitely distinguished themselves this season. I think DiNG definitely flourishing from being able to stay in the league after season 1 in that 7th spot coming through. Knackebrod came in. We knew they were going to be quite strong, obviously led by Crux, who's quite a veteran of Modern Tanks Esports. He's been around for quite a while. But maybe we didn't expect them to do so well. I mean, if we track over their performances through the season, I mean, getting themselves into 5th place above, you know, teams that have been in the league for at least a season already, like your Strong Simmers and your Utopias and your Pentas. Yep. These guys clearly bringing something new, something a little bit of X factor to their game here. But where do you think this is going to go between these two? Because DiNG, again, looking pretty solid, but Knackebrod demolished them yesterday in that first game. So we have to wonder how it affects them. Yeah,
it's true. I mean, I think Knackebrod obviously played very well yesterday. Didn't really have that many issues apart from against Oops. Yep. So I don't know, but I think my mind says DiNG. I mean, they've got such a solid lineup. They've done fantastically well this season. But my heart says KB. But, you know, if I was really going to be a betting man, I'd say DiNG have got their act together this last 24 hours. got themselves sorted, get themselves settled down and ready for this match against KB. I think it should be DiNG to go through this match. But, you know, KB have been surprising all season again. They could step up.
Yeah, I mean, if you think it went wrong for DiNG, their steps in Muravanka matches were fine. We were 2-2 after those ones in that first game.
Yeah.
Mainz, problem. That's a big map for Kasner. Obviously, they came out quite strongly. And then even Himmelsdorf, which may be a little bit of a surprise to some of us, is where Kasner came out with a really commanding round, actually.
Yeah.
DiNG shoved forward from north to south really aggressively, as tactic that Kasner actually replicated later on. But it didn't work out for them at all. Kasner just allowed them to push into some sort of setup for them. So, you know, always weird when we see defensive teams go aggressive. Usually it's a bit of a shock and awe tactic. And when you give that actual attacking team time to adjust to what you're doing, well, sometimes you can fall flat on your face here. So, I mean, this is going to be interesting. I mean, Knackebrod against Oops as well. You know, they got, what, 3 rounds? 5-3 for them as well. So they were still competitive. Again, we were still saying after Mines this could be very, very close. But Prohorovka is actually where it fell apart for them. That was not a good map for them whatsoever.
Yeah, but it was a great map for Oops, you know, throughout the whole of the season. So not surprising, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, I think for if I was just going to look today overall, I would say Oops still qualify. I mean, just considering how well they've played throughout the season. I hope that they've got a little bit of experience after yesterday's disastrous result against Kasner Crew. I mean, I saw Insane in the chat say, you know, in the end, Kasner Crew's experience, being able to settle themselves, being able to deal with that pressure definitely helped them out in the end. And let's hope Oops have added like +1, +2 experience to their stats after that match. So I don't know, but I think DiNG should go through this match, and it should be Oops versus DiNG. That's my main prediction.
Okay, well, before we do jump into the game, Ellie, of course, vote is open. We missed you yesterday, but you're back. Let us know exactly who they think is going to win.
Well, the community is going exactly on the same page with only 66% for DiNG at this very moment. But the vote is open, and it will stay open until the 4th round is over. So head over to facebook.com/WGLEU and get yourselves involved for your chance of winning a bonus code. Well, you simply have to guess the correct scoreline for this matchup and hope that you're one of the 3 fastest. And if you manage to do that, and if you're actually one of the 3 fastest, you will take home a pretty nice bonus code containing a premium vehicle, some gold, some tanks, 1 tank to be specific, and some premium days and a garage slot for that said tank, of course. And we also love reading from you on Twitter, so head over to twitter.com/WGLEU. Follow us there as well to stay updated if you can't make it in front of your computer, just as I had the problem yesterday. So you can simply follow all actions going on. We will keep you updated and send you all scores and happenings via tiny little tweets, and use the hashtag WGLEU to tell us what's on your mind, to tell us who do you think will advance to the Season 2 finals, and of course, as said, get involved in our voting. But the KB fans are very vocal in chat already, as we're used
KB
to.
hype.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure what they're saying. Apparently, I'm not allowed to repeat on stream what they're saying, so that's okay. But yeah, the Kappas are up there, and they're all keen to see their team go forward. We are too, to be honest. I mean, yesterday, you probably don't think they'll go through here. You reckon it will be DiNG instead? Yeah. I mean, Himmelsdorf's going to be our first match. We could jump in there pretty darn quickly, as I believe both teams are ready to go. I mean, given the content of what they're talking about in training room here, I don't even know where this is going, but yeah, so we can start. We'll start the game now. We'll jump in and see what these teams have got for us here. But yeah, Himmelsdorf to kick things off here. It's going to be an interesting one. I mean, tank lineups should tell a lot of the story here, or maybe not much at all. I mean, that really depends. We've got lots of FE215Bs and 50Bs for Knackebrod, and for DiNG, the double Waffentrager, which has almost become their standard. Also the T10 ST1. We did see this from them yesterday as well. The ST1 sat back on the 8 line, didn't do too much, while I think the T10 even pushed forward. It was a double 113. Either way, wasn't the best showing from them, but let's see if they can redeem themselves after an average start yesterday.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be kind of a battle of 2 teams which haven't played a lot of Himmelsdorf, or at least for DiNG, yesterday against Kasner, didn't play it particularly well. And for KB, they've played it 9 times, or somewhere around there, but they haven't really won too much. So we have to see exactly how they manage to perform, and I think this could be interesting. If I was going to say, I would say it's still going to be 2 apiece, 1 apiece after this first map. But I think in general, it's really how much DiNG steps it up, or how much KB steps it up, who actually goes through this match in general.
So, by all appearances, it looks like DiNG are going with pretty much a similar strategy to what they used against Kasner. but maybe the execution will be different. Now, this is the same. They're pushing those 113s and the T10 in towards the field. They're probably going to go towards that bottom corner, try and spot out any shenanigans, but Tarantula will see these tanks as they cross in the middle of the map. That's going to give the game away, at least in some part, to Knackebrod. They've seen both 113s. They've seen the ST1. That's a lot of that force already spotted out. 30 tier points already lit for Knackebrod. Now they can decide what they're going to do about it. Rulzik and Shockish push up here. They send a Waffentrager to A0, and it's the same setup as they had versus Kazno.
It's so interesting. I mean, they do exactly the same thing as last time, but they stick to what they know. And you remember yesterday, Kazna crew actually played the same tactic when they were on the defensive side against Oops. They just charged straight through the middle, but the difference is they actually went up the 8 line when they spotted there was an FV215B there, and they managed to take it out. No, sorry, it was an IS4. So they took it out real quick. I think it was Failware playing that one. And they managed to win the game via that. Now, different style from DiNG here, but they've actually managed to find Diplomat from behind.
Yep, that's right. And he's already firing at those Knackebrod tanks that are coming down towards that 0 line. So DiNG, already trying to prevent this push, but it's been circumvented to some degree. The Waffentrager got a couple shots on the cross, and here's the double 50Bs going up against the 113s here. Now, they've fired all their shots and haven't really done a whole lot with it, but Diplomat has fallen. He was, no, he hasn't fallen, so it was Fairware that went down to Diplomat, or one of those guys on that 8 line. So, I mean, Knackebrod at least have decent control, but they're being really careful about crossing over that line.
Dead.
And you can see Brady getting wrecked there by Hulknik and the Waffentrager. So this is great use of those tank destroyers here by DiNG. Rulzik and Shockish are now trying to chase down those 50Bs. Looks like double 113 beats out double 50B, Ollie.
Yeah, I think at some point, I mean, the 113 has way too much HP. You're talking about 1.6k burst from the AMX 50B, and obviously the 2,300 HP is too much for that 50B to take down in one clip. Yeah, I mean, really good start by DiNG. The great thing is that they're splitting up, but all systems, every single part of that element is really working together well. There is a cap underway, and International is able to be killed by Tarantula and Hellfish, but Murakar's there to support him in the SD1.
Yeah, I mean, it took a big risk, International did, getting into that position, so I think he just wants that one little reset shot, and they seem to be coming in. International did poke, did take some damage, but the reset has come through, and Knackebrod are running out of health points. DiNG are weathering this storm fairly well. It's only Hellfish left now, and he is going to face the firing squad. DiNG opening things up nicely. A solid defense. They didn't freak out. They didn't get ahead of themselves. They let Knackebrod's push come to them. They received it, and then they set up to get resets and finish them off. Solid play.
Yeah, I think the difference, just comparing the Kazna game and the DiNG game there with the same tactic, was that Kazna slowed DiNG down a lot with that 113 on the hill and keeping the corner safe. The difference there was that KB was playing really quickly with the AMX 3090s, the FE215Bs pushing down the hill, which allowed DiNG to basically split KB in half. They took down the 50Bs. The 113s are going to be good against that. You can keep up with a 50B on the concrete with a 130, no problem at all. And yeah, they managed to split them up. The Waffentragers did their job. They did enough damage. You had International to get the resets. And then, of course, you had the ST1 for the side scraping, also Murakar getting the reset. So yeah, DiNG played really well with all the elements. KB trying to go for that cap. But once you saw that back defensive line go down, they didn't really have an option. You know, they were always going to get flanked.
And you were saying as well, those 113s, they have so much HP, I think 2,500 each, that they can weather the storm of 250Bs. And you can bet your bottom dollar that with a 7.6 second reload time, they can burn down those 50Bs on their reload cycle.
The only thing you have to avoid is that you have a situation where 250Bs are shooting 113. And you can see that Shockers just put himself in front of Rulzik, and that's
Rulzik only went down to half health. I think Shockish had taken one shot, and the rest were bounced. So I went fairly well there in general. Here is your post-battle stats, and this is DiNG using those Waffentragers really, really well. I mean, they were the first to bring them in, Ollie, at tier 10, especially on this map. In fact, they were the first to use Diplomat in a Borsig at tier 8 on this map as well, even back in the old format. So they've always enjoyed playing with those tank destroyers. Even Shockish having a good game on the second page. I mean, Bratty and Falway, those two FE215Bs, they were trying to cap, but unfortunately they didn't put themselves in a good position to take part of the firefight. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, you could see most of KB's tanks were, didn't really do that much damage, and when they were pushing off the hill, they didn't really make it work effectively. Right. But yeah, I mean, huge game by those Waffentragers in great positions on that map. And yeah, we've got the second round coming up. It's obviously going to be KB on the defensive side, the slightly by 1 or 2% better side on Himmelsdorf. Pretty standard lineups. T110E3 this time from DiNG. So we can expect them to do the exact same tactic Kazdan did against Oops yesterday on this map, which basically put the T110E3 in B0 behind that rubble, which makes it basically indestructible. Then you send tanks past because no other tanks can peek. You push them around that corner, you get the kills, and you push them along and you get them in the cap, and that's basically impossible to beat.
And I think Tequilsaw chimed in yesterday saying, even in his experience, it's pretty OP. Putting a 110E3 in that spot, I think it allows you to fire towards A4 as well, or at least towards that cap. You have a long way that you can see, and you can make it very, very hard for teams to try and retake from the western side of the map. So we'll see. I mean, yeah, it's going to be heading up the hill first, but DiNG haven't committed to that hill so much yet. I always get distracted when that happens. I think someone's shooting at him, but Almighty Artur is
it's a big explosion. I never understood why that's so big.
It's unnecessary. Because
there's only big explosion, basically. I mean, you have a few of those places on Himmelsdorf, and I don't get it. Yeah. It's like, boom.
Yeah.
Oh, you drove over a car. Brilliant.
But I don't think he was detectable via that. Anyway, DiNG checking to see if there was anything coming in from the west. They see that, well, not a lot. If there's going to be a push coming in from that direction, it's not going to be overly fast. Meritorious on that G line has been spotted by Crux, I dare say. Or no, there's a 3090 a little bit closer. Tarantula may have been the man with the eyes. So he probably won't go too far for the moment. He's probably happy to stay in that position. There is a 215B that's got up in that little hidey hole. He can fire through the window a little bit further down at G2. So Meritorious has to be careful. He can fire back through that window happily enough here, but it's just a little bit harder to hit that, especially with your spread. And This is Diplomat. I mean, same thing we saw from Alien. He's going to get in position. Pad actually did take a hit in that little hidey hole spot, so Meritorious is keeping him honest at least. Tarantula continuing to do some scouting. So we'll have to see. There's nothing sitting on the corner there for Knackebrod. They've got an IS-4 closer to the capture point. So Failware spotted out by Diplomat. Unsurprisingly, Diplomat does bounce that one fairly handily, and he just gets himself in a cozy little position there. This forces Failware back. He should know, and he does know, that he can't really challenge this at all. And now DiNG can cross this road. Yeah. They can get across from left to right without any worries about being shot, because it's too much of a risk for anyone to really poke. I mean, if Diplomat loads HE for the Waffentraggers, we know it's 1100 average damage, 90 pen as well, pretty darn good for those Waffentraggers. Have no turret, or no turret armor for that matter, so they probably need to keep their heads down.
Yeah, I think the biggest point here as well is that with that T110E3 there, it's great, but the thing is, you got Failware in the IS-4 with support from those two Waffentraggers, and Hellfish can't be shot by Diplomat. So if DiNG does do that standard tactic of pushing down the zero line, they still have to deal with Hellfish, and they still have to deal with Failware. So I'm not sure. And there's also no tank on the 8 line for DiNG, so, or KB, so they can't just push around that corner and take that tank down. So I think DiNG has to go for a different tactic. There's a 50B on the hill. They're all towards that 8 line, and I think KB's given them a little bit of an opening here with a Mighty Artur being spotted, Tarantula also on that left side, and with that T110E3, they know that they can at least lock down one Waffentragger. They can lock down Failware in the IS-4.
He's not leaving A4.
So it's one tank locking down two, so you can actually get over matches somewhere else on the map.
I think they're happy enough to leave him there for the moment, even as some sort of pivot point, because he can catch people rotating, like you said. That IS-4, I mean, he does it. The IS-4 in his head might think to push to A0's wires, but there's a 50B sitting back there as well. It'll be the worst decision he ever made. So Failware probably should sit tight. I can see him just poking out, or at least on the minimap, maybe thinking about going for it. But here's DiNG now thinking also about the western side. The bat chat. Almighty Artur did take a shot earlier on. Tarantula now being harassed. That was a 215B. As Mary that's been able to catch on to him, who's honestly done pretty good damage from that position where, it can feel a bit compromising when you've got people poking you through that little hidey hole. But Tarantula backing away, takes another hit. Bratty being spotted. This is good information going towards DiNG. They're winning the early peaks, the early trades, and Pad as well up there. But you can see that Waffentrager now starting to take a beating.
Yeah, great stuff here from DiNG. I mean, they just played it correctly. And also great shooting from the 50B on the hill. Yeah, they're just going to be able to get control of this left side now. They don't have to worry about the hill or getting flanked around by the AMX 1390. Great damage from Mighty Artur, though. He's kept DiNG at bay a little bit, and he's got a reverse. He can go down in this position if, for instance, I would say a 50B just flanks around, takes him down, because DiNG have got control of that 2-3 line.
Failware is going to try and rotate out of that position now. I don't think he'll be spotted by the 110E3. I don't know about his side range. Oh, no, he is spotted, so we'll see if Failware does take a hit. He does. He gets chunked. It was, I think, AP... CR in there, so it wasn't the biggest role that Diplomat could have achieved, but Hulknick as well firing. So Fairware at least is being punished for leaving that position, but now both the Waffentrager and the IS-4 have at least managed to sneak out of that northern side, and they're going to be helping things out on the west. You can see Bratty looking super low. Pad is now starting to take a bit of damage, and you know, DiNG sharing the damage fairly well amongst them. They're looking alright, and this is allowing Hulknick now to come forward, and the amount of control that they have over the north, DiNG just pressuring the west, pulling tanks away from the north, and that 50B of DiNG will be able to sneak onto the cap and start it off if he chooses.
I think he will just want to take down the Batchat next. That'll be the next obvious move from DiNG. And then you've got the 50B up north. Probably a good idea to rotate Murakar and just put him behind the 50B like last time. And you can see DiNG is forcing KB to send resources towards that left side because KB's obviously spotted a few tanks there. And you do have a position where the AMX 3090 is now making its way up to Hulknick. Those two will start the cap, and that's going to split KB up, basically. They'll have to make a decision to at least send 1 or 2 tanks towards that cap. And once that happens, without the AMX 3090, with Meritorious and International there, those two will be able to do some damage as the tanks from KB retreat.
You can see, as one of the Hecker brothers has pointed out, those 2 FV215Bs from the south, they can rotate up the 8 line now and actually just bolster the forces in the north. So 40 seconds is the only time that Knackebrod have to go and deal with Hulknick here as well. He knows he's spotted, but I don't really know how under threat he is. Maybe from failware to shoot on towards a track or something similar. But 20 seconds is not a lot of time because you can see Murakar on the other side is also capping. Now the pressure's on. Knackebrod have to move. You can see we get an FV215B moving down the D line. Failware now coming in as well. But he's not going to have a really clean shot. Diplomat can also threaten as well. Failware's been spotted. Diplomat lets him have it. And Failware has to come forward. He has no choice. He needs to reset on Hulknick. But Knackebrod are taking serious amounts of damage for this. Hulknick moved out of the cap. He's not even interested in that. They're forcing Knackebrod to take damage. And now Crux, he ran into the double FV215B rotating through. It was good timing for DiNG. Failware will fall with the next shot and everything going right for the red side.
Perfect play from DiNG. You can see they've really stabilized their team after the disastrous matches yesterday. Crux stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Meritorious on reload. And you can see KB trying to filter their way back into defensive positions. You know, that timer is starting to get low, 2 minutes and 50 seconds, but once again, DiNG puts the pressure on with the cap.
That's right, they're going to move 2 tanks on there. I mean, with Murakar and, of course, with Hulknick in the north, it's very, very hard to actually get line of sight to either of those capping tanks, so Knackebrod have to commit in some way or another. That's why we saw Failware go down. That's why Hellfish now has to push forward. Diplomat still isn't loading HE. I'm getting excited for it, but I guess it's fair enough for him not to. Still, Hellfish is getting absolutely hammered. Shockish moves out, gets the track. The capture's still underway. Hellfish now, he's freaking out. He's not making the shots. He just gets one, but he goes down. That's the only resetting shot he could make, and now there's 3 tanks on the cap. Now 15 seconds in just a moment. Pad trying to deal with Rulzik here, and Bratty is on reload. He can poke around, but those Waffentragers, they're being pushed to come towards DiNG instead of vice versa, which is where they really shine.
And the thing is, this is going to be Pad falling in the next couple of shells. Rulzik will have it, no problem at all. Cap's 3 seconds away.
Yeah, it's done and dusted, really. I don't even think Bratty is loaded, or if he can go for it. Rulzik does get the kill. Bratty falls down to Diplomat, who had that perfect position there. And that is almost poetry in motion here. It was poetic as tanks could possibly be, Ollie. Very, very cleanly executed strategy by DiNG. You could see all of the cogs moving independently of another, and then together. I liked how we opened up. We saw the 110E3 go there, and you said, well, DiNG can't rely on this to attack the northern cap. So that move towards the west, definitely what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, I think that's where it started to break down there for KB, because they lost a lot of HP on the peaks there. They lost the MX 3090 and Tarantula, that guy who can roam around the map once the firefighters have engaged, once the tanks have started lining up against each other. He can go on the hill and actually get the resets, and because KB is on the defense, he can just go back up the hill and stay safe to work for that time. But he went down. There's some other damage also. You saw the Batchat got taken quite low. Yeah. He was the last one to survive there. But then Hellfish, really nice play, and you know, we're seeing a lot more segregation in Himmelsdorf, where you have like 2 or 3 parties of tanks being in different parts of the map and putting pressure on in different places. And you also had the AMX 3090 as well, of Rakar, I believe, getting the cap underway. So really good pressure, really good play of Himmelsdorf. You can't really blame them. And considering DiNG's poor service record on this map, it's definitely impressive.
Absolutely. We've got our stats coming in just a second as well. Rakar, cheeky bugger, he's started to call me Itch, or Mr. Itch now, because I called him Mr. Rakar for so long. So fair enough, that's pretty well played.
He's done well there.
Yeah. Rulzik and Diplomat, I mean, Diplomat just holding down the fort there as well. obviously, even with 2 off and tries, it's not enough of an excuse for you to load HE because it's a bit risky. I mean, you definitely need the APCR just to do the work. So fair enough for him, although I'd like some explosions and stuff like that. He played it pretty sensibly there and got a good amount of damage down. I mean, Crux, again, you know, when he's good, but sometimes it's not at the same time as the rest of his team. Tarantula got shut down pretty hard. We saw that. He tried to get away down the 3 line, but he was already trapped, essentially. Very quick moves coming out here from DiNG. And yes, Failware as well struggled as well in that IS4. I mean, he was pinned down from the beginning there and didn't really look too good for him. Tried to get out, of course, took damage even just to move. I mean, when you're punishing a team for purely maneuvering, that's when you know you've got them under your thumb.
Exactly, that's when you know you're going to win the battle if you don't screw up too much. But next map's coming up, Ghost Town. This is where KB have reigned supreme since basically the beginning of the season. This has definitely been their strongest map. And I think KB, if they're going to win this match, they do need to start putting rounds on the board. They got about an 82% win ratio on this one, 17 plus rounds played. I think they're around 20 rounds these days. And that's incredible. I mean, they really do have a chance to make this 2-all. And it depends if DiNG is in the right mindset to actually be a champion.
I'm shocked that DiNG didn't actually ban this one out. It seems that they must have a little bit of confidence coming forward themselves, and they're going to need it, as this is our second map. DiNG already up 2-0. A good start from them, and KB, to be fair, need to get 2 here to even the ledger even slightly. Of course, 110E4 for Meritorious and a Waffen Trigger. So again, DiNG, you know, relying or at least resorting to that heavy tank destroyer composition, which we do enjoy. And we like seeing how they sort of work out. I mean, love the 110E3 before. Loving seeing more of those American tank destroyers there up at tier 10. But Meritorious now, I have to see what he can do in that one. Rakar already gone for a bit of a scout run. Tarantula spotting up Rulzik, being lit himself, but getting a good amount of information now as DiNG just putting their tanks in position. So he's got a good little angle on them.
Yeah, a really nice start from DiNG, actually. Just pushing up north. There's not really that many tanks there, and I think KB's rely on a little bit of a push around to try and come behind DiNG and do some damage via that. Diplomat's now doing some spotting, trying to get himself towards that northern cap. He's going to sit in there. There's no artillery from KB, so don't have to be too worried. But yeah, I think KB's doing an interesting thing there. They know how long it's going to take DiNG to get up north, get up to the north, make sure they're not going to get spotted. And yeah, actually, though, International has found a great angle on the side to spot that push around, and I feel like DiNG's got a good amount of information now that just depends on how they react and how quickly they set up defensive positions.
Yeah, but this is an interesting flanking force of Crux and Brassy, and you see they've already spotted International as he's out on towards that side. Pad takes a little bit of damage in the middle of the map. And we're going to have to see now as these two FV215Bs try and just hold their ground, I guess, as DiNG definitely looking to cap. Don't know, though, if it'll be the middle or the north.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what they want to be doing. They have started the cap now. Diplomat's underway. Mercaro in the background and International in the background. Those guys are just going to be trying to hold each side of the map and see what they can do. Cap underway now for KB. They are, for DiNG, sorry. They are starting to put the pressure on, and you know, they have to rely on the fact that International is going to be able to stay alive, though, if they want to be successful with that cap, and he has gone down pretty low, 575. So he's a two-shot for the 50Bs.
I need that flexibility, there's no doubt about it. Batchat still seems to be hanging on now. Hellfish even taking a bit of damage. Hulknick poking his head out, looking for Tarantula. And not managing to connect too much so far, but he does get a good hit onto him. They know they need to swap this pesky little fly of Tarantula and get him away from this cap. Stop spotting Diplomat and Rakar as they start to tick that one up. It's down to 24 seconds here. Now, Knackebrod have taken a fair bit of damage from the early peaks, but they've really returned that, I mean, with interest, it's safe to say. Is International again being harassed. He's low. Rulzik and Shockish had better days. They're getting some good damage on the failware, though, as well, and they're starting to even the ledger up quite a lot. And the cap's still underway. Archer has to go forward. He needs to reset. Tarantula goes wide. He's trying to get some spots down on that one as well. Those 215Bs of DiNG are doing some serious work in the middle. They're holding Knackebrod at bay, but here's the resets. They're coming in. Rakar goes quite low. Still 15 seconds on that one. They might even just move off the cap and not worry about it too much because it's going to be very close in the firefight.
Look at those 50Bs, though. Perfect positioning from behind. Crooks on reload, though, and this is definitely DiNG being reset, and now they're down quite significantly. You can see just KB's situational awareness on this map is just so superior, and they're just being locked down in the middle of that courtyard.
Yeah, the double 50B flank. We saw it at the start. Even DiNG saw it at the start. It was almost like some kind of ominous omen. They knew that they were going to be jumping on them later on, and DiNG didn't really do anything about it. And now they're going to be running out of steam. Knackebrod, they've been able to share this health pretty well. Meritorious has to go forward. He does at least get Hellfish. Crux is there, though. He lands the shot. 110E4, not as well armored as a 110E3, and now it's just Diplomat. He will be jumped upon, and that is Knackebrod. That is him showing up on their map of choice here. It's a very strong start to Ghost Town. And I don't know. It's like you see a truck coming and you stand in the middle of the road and wait for it to come. It's what it felt like. Seeing those double 50Bs on the flank, DiNG persisted with what appeared to be their initial strategy, and they were punished for it severely.
Yeah, I think International should have stayed in his position a little bit longer, maybe. And I think Murkar should have been there with him, because those two could have held the 50Bs at bay. They couldn't get the cap on the way. They couldn't successfully get the cap on the way when you have the MX-1390 coming the T-54 lightweight coming one direction and the 50Bs coming the other direction. You're going to get sandwiched there. Someone's going to get reset. And DiNG weren't even that close to capping. I think maybe like another 5-6 seconds. Like a golf. It's a golf in terms of time when it comes to caps. We see resets at like 99.99% just without the exclamation mark. So, I mean, really well played from KB. They had the bravery to send 2 tier 10 tanks, which were useless for a lot of the firefight, but they knew that they could put the pressure on those tanks in the middle for DiNG, because DiNG had put, for instance, a Waffentrager, an RU-251, and an IS-7 in that eastern side cap, in the northern cap, sorry.
Shouts to Meritorious. I mean, I think he penetrated every shot there as well. Did a good amount of damage, but just wasn't really enough. I mean, like you said, Knackebrod, they managed to split those 250Bs away from their main force, and then they managed to hold out against DiNG until they were ready to come and join the fight. International took a lot of damage. Murkar obviously was more of a capping piece there. They both got gunned down eventually. And Holknick as well, a disappointing amount of damage for him on the Waffentrager here. But we're going to be jumping straight into the next round on this one. Tank picks coming right at you. A lot of FE215Bs. I mean, pretty much the same lineup for Knackebrod here. DiNG going with the Waffentrager and an E100 and a 15551 for Diplomat.
It looks like they want to play more of a static game, hold those positions very well. The E100, of course, a great hold down tank for that one. As long as you don't show that lower glacius, you just need to be angling the turret so the other team can't shoot the left or the right side too easily without an angle on it. Diplomat for the resets in the Lorraine. You can see they're not wasting any time, KB, to get the pressure on in the cap. Tarantula sitting there. And I mean, that's the quickest beginning of a game we've ever seen. Looks like Murkar, though, coming from the side there in the FE215B to try and get the resets. You got International on the front side, and I think this is more of a I don't know what you'd call it, but
I don't know what this is.
Like a tertiary play. Like you have the T-54 lightweight in the cap to put the pressure on, get those two tanks distracted, and then just come blasting in for one side. And catch the other team by surprise.
Well, it might just work out here. Again, Crux and Bratty in flanking positions. They're going to round the corner. They're going to find some more of those DiNG tanks. And it's International, the first one to be focused down a little bit. Crux and Bratty still getting in position. Not quite where they want to be yet. Now damage coming back towards Knackebrod. They know that DiNG has artillery, so they need to move fast here. And they need to jump on these tanks, get them on their own. And Meritorious just gets blasted to smithereens there. He barely even got to play this round. And still, Tarantula and Bratty fall down. Rulzik and Holknick managing to reply back here fairly well. Knackebrod, this is not working out as well as they maybe would have liked. DiNG, they've got nerves of steel here. They managed to hold off this push, and now it's going to be 4v2. Nice little rotate around the corner. The FE215B's now starting to get involved. A lot of damage coming in. Pat as well, starting to flounder a little bit here as he needs to back up around the corner. Even Rulzik there had a couple shots for fail where I think he'll fall in a couple shots here, if not just the one. One more, but he'll at least be able to get away for the moment here. Don't know what he's going to try and do. At least if he keeps him busy, that might work well. The E100 of International still plugging away. Still sending those 155mm shells into the side of these FE215Bs. And Pat is going to fall. Crux now is on his own. Very strong hold from DiNG. Knackebrod went for something different, but DiNG, they weren't born yesterday, Ollie.
The thing is that KB made the decision to shoot those 3 or 4 tanks, and of course International just reverse got back. Holtnick played it perfectly as well. Really, he played it amazingly, because if he had went down, it would have 100% been KB's game, but because KB was chasing Holtnick and they didn't manage to kill him, it was actually DiNG's game to win, and they are now so far ahead, 4 versus 1 situation. Crooks on a one shot.
Yeah, and Holtnick has plenty of shots ready for Crooks there. One to the track, one more to the gullet, and that will be it. DiNG, nicely done. That's the round they needed to get there. After such a strong start on their map, get 2 rounds in there, get one off Knackerbrod's map, which obviously their win rate, as you said, is high. That's an intimidatingly large percentage that they're on, but 3-1 to DiNG so far. Very, very quick rounds coming through here, and you got to say they're looking a lot better than they did yesterday.
Yeah, I think they're looking a lot more solid, and as I said, I think they're the favourites to go through. But just in that round, I mean, okay, I like the initial play. It was really nice with T-54 lightweight. They come charging them for one side. They took down Merry, but then they split up. Some tanks went towards the right to try and stop International flanking with the Batchat. Fair enough. But then there was a 3 versus 4 situation or something like that, and they'd already received some damage. And the fact that they didn't manage to kill Holtnick, in that Waffentrager made that push unnecessary. You know, they didn't have to do that, and there was just some bad decision making. I think they should have stuck as a pack. Maybe had one FE215B to make sure that that Batchat couldn't actually push on their back. So I think KB, right idea, just wrong execution.
Happens a lot in the league, as we do get plenty of bright ideas, but if you end up getting gunned down, or I thought DiNG also stood up to it fairly well here. They didn't manage to get on towards international meritorious early enough here. But Melly, votes, let me hear them. I don't know who people think is going to win now, because this is a different DiNG than we saw yesterday, and Knackebrod looking pretty average still.
I mean, I wasn't here yesterday, but DiNG looks very, very certain on what they're doing. Like they have their plan, they stick to it, and they rush through it. I mean, we're already on the 4th round with only being like 20 minutes into the game.
These guys
it's
are pretty
crazy.
fast. Yeah.
So I think they have a plan in mind, and they try to fulfill that one. And I think it's going to finals, right? So let's see how it goes. Currently, the community votes with 68% for DiNG, so it hasn't changed much. It raised for around 2% points, but people to vote has closed. Thank you for getting involved. The next one, the last one for this weekend, will be on in a few minutes, so stay tuned on facebook.com/WGLEU, as you know, and get involved for your last chance on this weekend to get some codes. The next chance will be on next weekend.
That's
when we
right.
have the finals.
And that'll be even, we've got some cool giveaways coming up as well. Our friends at Logitech as well are getting on board with us for that one. So look out for some awesome swag from them, and also something a little bit better than what we normally give away tanks-wise. So we'll keep you in suspense for that one? Yeah, there we go. So 68 to 32% DiNG. I mean, people feel pretty confident about these guys. They feel confident in themselves. I mean, we're going to be going forward pretty much right about now on 2 steps here. I don't know, man. DiNG, I definitely have to have a bit of confidence here. I mean, the last outing on steps, of course, was blemished by Utopia and, of course, Papa Pavian going absolutely ham on them. Which is just,
and Kazaku yesterday as well.
That's true, yeah. So they're going to go for this again still, seeming confident to some degree. So I don't know. I feel all right. But I mean, steps, there was a 1-1 for them. So remember, Kazaku went for that weird northern boost, and then they tried to make something happen on the east that didn't work out.
But it was such a close game. I mean, Kazaku came so close to winning that one. They just screwed up a little bit in the execution. They only had about 28, 29, 30 seconds until they would have won the match via that timeout. So, yeah, I mean, super close game. I think DiNG probably saw their mistakes and want to try and alleviate some of them, fix some of them in this one. But I don't know. I think for DiNG, it feels to me like they've playing pretty similar maps as they did yesterday. They've seen their mistakes and they've gone back to the drawing board this last night. Played a lot of tanks, played a lot of training rooms, covered them up, and got a little bit more experience to go on and beat KB right now. It looks like they're on the
honestly,
right
Ollie,
path.
it's pretty impressive to do that in the space of like 18 hours, to be fair, when you have to sleep and all that stuff. They must have sat down, they must have nutted out and said, we're going to these finals, boys. Let's get our act together. Let's get it sorted. Let's go. I mean, they may have prepared fairly well for KB, but then there's always, oops, just around the corner if they get through. So
yeah, that's the biggest challenge for them.
Still,
for sure.
they've got to run the gauntlet. DiNG are the team that has to run the gauntlet today. That's pretty much the story for them. A lot of Object 140s and an M40, M43 for them. Bringing a similar lineup in structure as what KB will bring in on Ghost Town in terms of just focusing on more on just the one kind of tank. So plenty of Object 140s. KB, bit of a mix, double STB, double 140, a TVP and a Batchat, and some artillery. Both teams bring the artillery. Tarantula has the Lorraine 155-51, and Diplomat bringing the M40, M43.
Yeah, both teams picking up the artillery piece, and I'm always a massive fan of that Lorraine, even though we've seen a lot more highlight clips from the M40, M43, the highest damage dealing artillery by far this season. But yeah, pretty heavy lineup from DiNG, where they got the FE215B. Looks like they've gone for a little bit of a brawl as well. Hull down lineup with the Object 140s. They're also boosting one of their players up. Hultnick not messing about, trying to get that one right. Obviously going to be waiting for a little bit because Tarantula, he's obviously going to be trying to shoot across. Let's see if he gets the timing correct. He's not even aiming towards them. So he's not even bothering with that one, and maybe not too unsurprising considering
it's a pretty quick
most teams don't put the Object 140 up. Normally they do it with the STV-1 because it's a taller tank. It's 390 damage, so it's better in the sniping positions, you know.
You ever have to wonder if Wargaming did that intentionally, made it so you could sneak a 140 up there? Because honestly, the terrain looks fairly clement for...
you can boost yourself up almost anywhere. You just need like a whole team to do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if it was intentional, but I mean, they even had a Diplomat boosting up there as well, so he won't be in position for a little while yet.
It's going to be interesting with the new motion physics if boosting like that is yeah.
Would it be easier?
I'm not sure. I've only played a few games. I'm not sure exactly how it would work. I think it would still be possible, but I think in general everything's a lot more physicky. You know, like everything's a bit heavier and more stuck to the ground.
More Newtonian.
Yeah,
you know?
I just think I don't know. It's an interesting. I'll have to think about it.
So every action now has an even more equal, or opposite action.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant. Hellfish just dodges a little artillery shot there. I think he was lit by International briefly, so a bit of fancy footwork to get him out of trouble. That would have hurt, there's no doubt about it. So DiNG, not even bothering with the North so much right now as well. They did see Knackebrod actually, start to posture towards that eastern side and maybe see if they could create opportunities. But as soon as you see a bat shot and an artillery shot come down, you're thinking, all right, well, they've got this area pretty well covered. They've definitely established a strong presence here. Now DiNG look like they maybe want to make a move. It's going to be a while before KB get to the north, so the question is, do DiNG just sit in the normal positions, wait for him to get there, or do they sneak someone to sort of A5, someone like that? They don't have a small tank to do any cheeky little spotting, so they pretty much have to, stick together here as well, establish some sort of firing squad. They've got no sort of intermediary tank to spot out Knackebrod as they get in position, so they've just got to try and blind shot and hope for the best.
Yeah, I think DiNG is just going to try and slow this game up. I mean, playing aggressively like we saw yesterday from Oops and Casno was always a bit of a different kind of strategy on steps, and it looks like both these two teams just playing more standardly. For KB, leaving that STB1 down south, sending the Lorraine up into probably C1, maybe even B1, just to put it in a straight line position to shoot the FV215B. Not really any small vehicles, and what we've seen before from KB is they send like a bat shot into the cap, just send a bat shot into the cap, and then when that cap starts to go down, they try and guess when the other team is going to be coming in. They send the artillery in, obviously that Lorraine being very big in front of the bat chat, have it as a kind of steel wall, and then just keep it safe behind there. But of course, that's sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. You have to get the timing absolutely on point.
Rulzik there getting lit as he did poke over, and going to be a shot coming in towards him, so he knows his track got mildly damaged, but not enough to warrant the use of a repair kit or any sort of other concern. So Rulzik then knows that, okay, KB, they've set up here in the north. Bratty as well is just going up and down that little hill there as well, trying to get a little bit of line of sight towards this valley part. But DiNG aren't really freaking out too much. In fact, they're putting a lot of Object 140s towards the south side here. Maybe 3 of them. I don't think they'll put 4. I think they'll keep an FV back. Remember, they do have a boosted 140 up on the hill. That's Hulknik. So he can, he can harass Artur here as well if Artur gets a little bit too close.
Yeah, he's actually going to start the cap up. So this is just going to be a good play from KB right now. They've not lost any HP. I think right now, if they keep on spotting that FE215B, it's going to be easy shots for Tarantula to make, and he's going to have plenty of them. But Felware, so you've got to be careful that he's been spotted pretty early on, but I'd say the STB is a perfect tank for that position. And International's going to go and try and go forwards, but there's a sneaky little TVP off to the side as well.
Yeah, he needs to be careful about that
he's
one.
He's going to get seriously punished.
He can't have the 1v1 really against Failware. I mean, Failware does take a hit now. International wants to come in and unload. Good track from Failware straight away. I don't think Crux can fire at him in this case, so International just gets to unload on Failware. And Failware will go down here if he doesn't get out. I mean, he's got no choice. He's going to try and do as much damage as he can, but this is the bat chat for you. He'll put you up against the wall, and he'll nail you to it.
Why didn't Failware shoot that last shot?
Don't know. He definitely had the reload. I'm not sure what the plan was there. He could have used that extra damage. Now, interesting here, Ollie. There's a bat chat on the cap. Instead of like a 251 or a 1390 here, bit of a valuable tank to use as a capping piece, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely a good one. But it gets taken out immediately, and this is what I was talking about. This is standard KB tactics on this map, and Hellfish has also got out on his own versus 2 140s.
Tarantula moved onto the cap as well to try and help it out, and he got taken out straight away. That's not good at all for Knackebrod. That's really a downhill slope from here. Bratty now just going to use the hull, I guess, at least to get behind it. Maybe DiNG not feeling great about using that. But there's Diplomat straight on towards Bratty. He was purposely aiming behind the hull of the 15551 because he figured Bratty would go there.
Yeah, exactly. He predicted correctly, and that's half the game done already. Crook's trying to run away from 2 tanks, and at the moment this is just a slaughter right now. DiNG kind of screwing up some of this execution. Meritor is driving through the middle of the field, will get taken down, but you can see Rulzik starting to lumber his way into this battle as well, and that FE215B is just going to really bring the pain.
Yeah, it's 5.4k to 2.3k in health. There's only 3 tanks left for KB and Bratty. He's going to face the music here. He doesn't really watch where he's driving. He hits the rock, but it doesn't matter either way. He was going to go down.
Paddy just gets the old team kill.
Really?
Second one of of today.
Oh, brilliant. We had a brilliant one yesterday.
Yesterday.
That was great. I think that was even a shot in from Diplomat there. Nonetheless, DiNG, convincing victory for them there on that side there. Looks like their defense is pretty well nailed down on steps, so I'd say there's no issues for them there. Okay, so let's talk about KB.
You're going to throw your pen on the floor today?
No, I want to hold it this time. It's KB going for the Northern Cap, right?
Yeah.
But they don't have a 30-90.
Yeah.
And they have artillery here. I mean, does it look to you like that's a plan B? Or does it look like they had to go for something else here? Because I don't really know. They didn't really have the best tank composition for that kind of strategy, I don't feel.
Well, you can get the cap underway with the Batchat. It's got good enough Camo Valley, but of course DiNG were playing it pretty quickly to try and counter the artillery. If Tarantula was just allowed to continuously shoot the FV2 on 5B, KB could have won the game. Right. Problem was that DiNG immediately rotated. I'm losing my voice. Some good damage from the STBs. And then International also goes up. I mean, we saw that 1,900 HP on the STB, 2,000 potential damage from the Batchat, one shot onto Failware, and you know that he's going to go down from one clip, right? So 100%, guaranteed to go down. Failware kind of screwed that up. And as soon as Failware went down, the other TVP of Crooks was going to go down. And, they've lost that whole side. And that was immediate. So DiNG just pushed straight away, which means that one tank in the cap is not enough. Not even two. You saw Tarantula go in. He got spotted.
Yep.
3 probably wouldn't have even been enough. So just really quick reactions and not messing about from DiNG at all.
No, speaking of not messing about, they've already got themselves loading into game here. So very, very quick stuff from these two teams back and forth. I mean, Tornado Rocks, you guys should take note. Casner Crew also could take note as well, I think, but that's fine. I mean, yeah, match point here. Match point. Pretty cut and dry.
Yep.
On steps as well. DiNG favouring this map. DiNG looking very, very strong in this map. I'd say KB are up the creek without a paddle. Yeah,
they're definitely going to be looking for a buoyancy aid right now to try and stabilise themselves. After what's been, so far, a pretty one-sided affair. I mean, DiNG's just been absolutely ruthless. Just cutthroat stuff from them. They're machines right now. They want to go to this final. So you can see they've done their homework. They've put the hours in. And yesterday against Casner, they just had so many issues that they just didn't stand a chance. Now, DiNG on the attack, technically the most attack side bias of any map on the league. About 53% of the time we see the defenders win if we look at the entire map pool. But we see a lot more attacking wins on steps than anything else. 57% of the time we see the attackers win. And, that's just standard stuff because the attackers are the ones who can go defensive and static on this one, whereas the defenders have to come to them because of that northern cap.
Yeah, it's the topography, really, of the map itself that allows for attacking teams to set up and actually just give themselves time. So, attack and defense terms that are very fluid in terms of this game, especially this map, actually. But DiNG are not set up in the north at all, actually. They're pretty much, off on the western side. Bringing artillery in still as well. So, I mean, these resetting tanks have to be careful. No STB ones at all for Knackebrod here, which I find a little bit interesting.
Yeah.
They're going to go with the 140s and the TVPs to, I guess, to reset or whatever. But you can see these two TVPs, these guys are the assassination force. They're looking for Meritorious. They'll blow him up in a matter of seconds if he doesn't be careful. And I don't really know if Berry can sneak away. And this is pretty dangerous here for Diplomat as well. He has to go. I almost feel like DiNG has to send back reinforcements. Merry, a couple hits coming in towards him. He might be in trouble.
He's going to be running away as quick as he can, and those TVPs are very quick. Not quite as fast as the Batchat, but this is their chance to do the damage. They're not really... Oh, they tracked him. He's dead.
Oh, I don't know about... Yep, no, they got the shots to go. Diplomat getting involved. Crux just got absolutely hammered down. Perfect stuff from him. It takes a while. The aim down time on the M40, M43 isn't great at all. So Diplomat responded to that one very quickly, turned his tank around, got ready to fire, and I don't know if Crux is going to come back for more.
Yeah, the thing is, there was like 2 or 3 shells, two shells from the TVPs that just hit the side of those tracks. Of course, heat ammo having a big effect and being pretty useless against the Batchat in some respects. And this is KB now pushing forwards. They want to try and make something happen. They found Hultnick. Diplomat's on reload, so they know they have a window of opportunity to just to get the overmatches.
Well, let's see if it works out. They're going to try and get that 3v1 against Hultnick, but International and Mrakar are there. Mrakar doing what he can. Problem is, Shokish and Rulzik are a long way from the action here. Hultnick is going to go down, but again, that's an artillery shot coming in from Diplomat. Look at Failware getting bursted down. Knackebrod are getting nothing for free. They're going to have to work for every single advantage they try and get here. Diplomat finally falls. Artur takes him out, but there's the damage already done. 4v5, 6 situation, in fact. So there's a lot more guns up for DiNG, for the Knackebrod here. DiNG need to just hold on for as long as they can. They got the 140s, they got the brawling force. But
where is Crux?
KB's starting to catch up. He's probably redline sniping because he's low. He's sitting at H3.
Yeah, the thing is, there's 2 TVPs which are supposed to be in the front lines trying to go in and do damage, but, this is KB just being kind of surrounded, and yeah, they did such a good amount of damage at the beginning that they're still in control of this game. You can see it's 4 versus 3 situation, and they are starting to push in now.
Yeah, you see Makar and Rulzik just ganging up on Artur here and try and pick him up as quickly as they can. I think, no, we'll still see Makar go down. Rulzik didn't quite have the reload cycle as quick as he would have liked. International was loaded, and unfortunately, it's a little bit too little too late, as the TVP is always going to beat you to the punch, especially when you're already down at critical damage. KB take it away here. Very messy little brawl situation here. No one seemed like they had a chance to settle. Very chaotic.
Yeah, I mean, it was really interesting, actually. Very good move from KB, just pushing their tanks through the middle because they put pressure on with the double TVPs to get International at that position. A little bit unlucky there that KB didn't take down the bat chat. Obviously, they could have nailed that one, but they did track it, so you got to kind of take your apples with the oranges.
Yep.
And then they pushed through the middle, Object 140s, getting down that standard STB position. They kind of put themselves into... a bit of a bottleneck where you had tanks on the left, tanks on the right shooting them. But because they got the 2 tanks down, the Diplomat was on reload, International was also on reload. They were just getting so much damage done. So much damage. Executionally, pretty bad from KB. I think they should have been a bit more concise, just going for those overmatch, all sticking together, but they're all kind of doing their own thing.
Yep.
But still, I mean, the initial play with Object 140s was really good, and they caught DiNG by surprise.
Yeah, the double TVP push for assassination was there as well, but Diplomat managed to make things pretty hard. And Crux, I don't think he needs too much convincing to sit back and shoot from a safe position, but after that he was definitely going to do that, so fair enough. I mean, DiNG seemed to just, with the artillery there as well, it's one less combat tank, of course, I don't know. I think, and Meritorious obviously did eventually go down from that position. They lost him early, so just little trades and exchanges being made here. I mean, I'll be interested to see what the damage is up now for you guys, and you can have a look at that one here, because honestly, DiNG didn't do nearly as much damage as I thought they would have done.
Yeah, Meritorious is the only guy who really performed on both bat jets as well. That shows how much KB locked down those single-shot tanks, which were sitting around the cap. Of course, if you're in the cap, you have a defender on the top side where all the rocks and hills are. If that defender goes down, you're in the defilade, you're at the disadvantage. You don't have that directional firepower which you need. So, yeah, really good play from KB. They do manage to bring it to a 3rd map, and it's going to be Ruinberg, so not good stuff for them. They really have to win both rounds.
Getting on match point on Ruinberg is such a bad idea. It's like we need to win the lowest percentage scenario in the whole WGL to keep ourselves in the game. Like, I don't know. It's
going to be a really hard match here, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know. It's we're going to be seeing DiNG going on the attacking side here as well, and we'll jump into game for you right now. It is the old Ruinberg, a nice little flyover from our observers. Exactly what you need to see there. We don't need no videos. It's fine. Double IS-7 here for DiNG though. Triple quad bat chat and a T-49. Haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, it's good to see it back and see what they can do with it on the attack. Can't really see anything from KB which they can penetrate, maybe apart from the bat chat. So not sure exactly what they're going to be doing with that one. Maybe just loading.
He's not bringing the big gun.
No, he is bringing the small one.
Yeah.
That gun is an absolute beast, though. Its reload is insane. Can't remember exactly how much damage it does. I think 300. But we did actually see that a lot in 754 when we were playing that mode on Cliff. We saw it as a kind of DPM beast, and also to catch the other team by surprise.
Sometimes we saw the big derp gun on it as well, though.
Yeah, but more of the time we saw the derp gun. But when you bring that smaller gun, it's 320 damage with 240 penetration.
Can I just get our observers to go to Makar and Rulzik in the back corner? This is really quite strange. Makar's just sat himself there. So DiNG just wanting to secure utter control of this zero line.
Yeah.
They're not even using Makar as a combat tank. That's how much they value being here.
Yeah, insane. I mean, you have that zero line, but the beginning hasn't started exactly how they expected. And as I say, I mean, that tank just does so much DPM. They are going to be pushing forwards. This is pretty normal tactic, and Meritorious actually in the background is not useful right now. They have to be careful they don't get surrounded. And let's see what DiNG does. It looks like they're just playing it more controlled, pushing that right side, trying to get control of the better positions at the start.
Yeah, take some control. I mean, as an attacking side, you need that zero line. So I like DiNG that they respect that a lot. I like DiNG that they regard that as very, very important. Diplomat, the only one spotted now going into the city, and Makar as well out in front. He's going to see Bratty in a few moments here, and he's lucky not to get get his head taken clean off there. But Brady will poke out and have a shot towards Diplomat now. Makar getting shot from the side as well. I don't know why he stopped there. Doesn't make a lot of sense. He should have known that there were tanks up in the field there. He goes down fairly cheaply, and DiNG have to make it work now with the rest of their tanks.
Yeah, I think Makar was way too brazen. Obviously, he was trying to go forwards to find some tanks to shoot at, but I think he could have stayed safe in that position or just gone slightly behind towards the right and stayed behind that other building. He would have also spotted. But Diplomat takes down Bratty. Tarantula in the background in the T-54 lightweight. It's not going to be that useful. And DiNG have control over that right side, but still the HP is in favor of KB.
Bratty made this bizarre, aggressive push out. I don't know why. It was caught by Rulzik, actually, who was there in the 50B. Don't know why he did that at all. So now DiNG will at least be able to get that kill there. Now, they have the guns in the game. This is quite interesting here. It's a 5v4. Crux finally gets on towards Rulzik here, but the numbers do favour DiNG. They just need to keep alive. That's the problem. They've got International, they've got Shockish. Both of them are looking quite healthy. That's a lovely big hit on towards Failware. A couple more of those, and this game will be right back in the balance here. As Failware struggling to duel out against his IS-7s, firing on the move as well. Not always a great idea. Crux now taking damage. DiNG just trying to slow the pace down, just trying to use that strong position, and Diplomat off to the side as well. He needs to land these side shots. He needs to make this happen. Perfect stuff from the double IS-7 as well. Look at his Failware down to a one-shot.
And Meritorious is up north as well. I think he's doing some good damage, staying safe behind the bushes. He can also put the pressure onto the cap. If DiNG just stabilize, hold the positions they can, and then Meri gets the cap on the way, it could also be their win that way.
Hulknick missed a crucial shot towards Tarantula. Now, he comes forward. I think he still gets the 1v1, but he's looking worse for wear after that one. But still, that's important. That's increasing the number of gun disparity. It's now 4v2. It was a 5v2 for a moment there. So Hellfish and Crux have to hold on. I think DiNG have clinched it here, Ollie.
I think they have. They've done so well. I mean, they really slowed the game down. KB obviously got control of that right side, but then they just allowed themselves to get surrounded. Meri on the right, Diplomat down south. And right now it's Hellfish in a one-shot situation.
Yeah, Crux also quite close by to him, also very, very low. Going to try and deal with International here as well, but he just fluffs the shot as he comes around the corner. His nerves definitely getting the better of him here. Hellfish could finish International, but there's three other tanks looking for him. And DiNG, at like a 3k hit point deficit at one point of that game, managed to bring it back, slow it down, get your bat chats out on the flanks. They get an attacking round on Ruhenberg there, and there it is. Knackebrod are out of the running to be in the season finals. Yeah,
KB put themselves into 6th place, which, you know, to be fair, as a new team, fantastic work from them. We have to say that. I mean, KB can hold their heads high. They can they can see what their mistakes were. The mistakes were obvious, and not that many big issues within that team, and they can go into season 1 2016-17 as a better team with this experience of playing in the online playoffs and the pre-playoffs. This being their first season, I thought, you know, KB at the beginning looked fantastic, looked better than Oops. Second half of the season after Christmas break, slightly struggled, and here I think they just didn't have that experience, and I think DiNG wanted it more than KB did. So 6th place, top 50% against you know, a very strong set of teams, and a lot of teams below them who've been in the WGLEU a lot longer than them. You know, congratulations.
Absolutely. And we look forward now to see who will come out. You did say DiNG would be the team going forward. You were right. A very convincing victory for them here as well. And Melly, it's always nice to see a team turn things around and win on that attacking Ruhenberg side. We always talk about how it's so hard to win rounds there as well. But I feel like KB were already out of it then, mentally speaking. I don't know.
Exactly. It felt like it was already over after a 4th round. So it kind of felt like they gave up.
3-1, yeah.
Then they managed to take that one round, but it didn't help their morale to climb back up and like rally themselves together. Maybe it's because they're not that routined as a DiNG, for example. So, I mean, it's their first appearance in the Gold Series, more or less. And finishing 6th, as you said, is great. There's nothing else to add. And I mean, they're staying in the season. They will have a next try, right? So people, sadly, Knackebrod won't be on the finals. And if DiNG will manage it.
Raise your cap of pride, Knackebrod, for the last time this season.
Exactly. So show them some love, but they already do. So Knackebrod is like one of the community darlings, totally. Chat always goes wild. So I'll miss them on the finals, to be honest, because they were kind of an entertaining team. I don't know if it's because of their name or something, or the fan base.
Looking at Twitch chat, I think we could say it is in part because of their name.
Absolutely, yes. And all those spelling mistakes.
And all the pronunciation errors from us.
Absolutely, yes. So
Please change your name for next season as well.
No, stick with it. I was actually hoping to have someone on site from the team to tell us like the proper. Well,
I think Hellfish will probably be here. He's the team he's a shot caller. No, maybe not the shot caller, but the tactician for KB, and he lives in Cologne. So
Knackebrod.
it's going to be interesting.
But yes, thank you for getting involved. The next vote will be up as soon as you guys, see the last round, because I don't want to spoil the surprise of actually DiNG making it to the next round. And DiNG looked fantastic and fantastically in this game. And if they manage to keep it up, well, let's see. People, as said, the vote will be online as soon as you see this, probably. So head over to facebook.com/WGLEU and get yourselves involved for a very, very last voting before our finals. And, well, I hope a lot of you guys participate.
All right. Well, guys, before we go to the break, let's have a look at maybe the match stats, should I say. One last glance, I guess, as a fly on the wall over this large series as well. I'm interested to see who's coming out with most of that damage there as well. I mean, pretty hard to say. I think DiNG generally were, out damaging, and that's our boy Mary up the top there. And Crux, no surprise to see him so far up there, but yeah, DiNG 5 in the top 7, no surprises.
Yeah, I think Crux has probably cemented himself as, at least in this stage, on the online stage, as a top 3 damage leader. Mary is just fantastic. I mean, at the beginning of the season, and actually in Season 1, he wasn't performing at all. And one of the big differences between DiNG this season and last season is that Mary is actually doing a lot of damage, and he's really performing well. Rulzik, Hognick, not having the greatest games, but pretty good anyway. And I think you can see that, in general, only 2 players from KB in that top 7 does say half the story on its own.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. DiNG move forward. You see now, of course, Tarantula, Shockish fail way down the bottom there as well. Shockish having a bit of a tough time. He, to be fair, was
team captain, so
yeah, he was doing a lot of calling. We often see that as an observable trend there, but there it is. We're going to move forward now, of course. So, guys, after the break, DiNG moves forward. They take on Oops for the last spot in our Season 2 for 2015 and 2016 finals. That is going to be our last game that we see before the season finals themselves. So definitely don't miss that one if you want to see who our 4th team there is going to be. We'll see you after the break.